everyone who's come joining us today. I'm Jesse Laslovich, United States Attorney for the District of Montana. I'm pleased to be joined by some exemplary public servants, and I'll just start to my immediate left, Assistant United States Attorney Colin Rubich in our office, of course, Chief of Police Rich St. John here, Billings-Police Department, Detective Mike Robinson to the Chief's left, and then it was with the Billings-Police Department, and then we have Jason Pulowski, who is with the Department of Homeland Security. Each of these folks has been instrumental in this work that we're about to discuss with you regarding aggravated identity theft occurring here in Billings. This has been an initiative that's been ongoing for the last couple of years, and really its genesis, I learned, came out of this room when Colin met with the Billings Police Department about issues of people stealing folks' identities, stealing people's credit cards, stealing their checks, whether it was busting into a car, whether it was walking by mailboxes, seeing if they could take gift cards from the mailbox, whether it was a car that was open and they saw a purse, for example, and stole a person's personal information and then subsequently used it, going to a business, converting the money to cash, converting it to a gift card, and then using that money in many ways to fund their drug habit. What we have seen over the last few years with these kinds of cases is there are folks who are in many ways flying under the radar. They are found, they are committing misdemeanors, they don't meet the felony thresholds under state law. They do it repeatedly. We have an overburdened jail system, and so in many ways they get away with the criminal activity. But over the last couple of years, I'm pleased to say that with the work of these great individuals, we're starting to make progress here in Billings. And in particular, you'll see in the handouts and then what we've shown here, we've indicted 33 people. And keep this in mind, these are 33 people we have taken off the streets here in Billings, well, soon to be 33, I guess, not completely 33 in light of the numbers who are pending sentencing or pending trial, but 20 who have been convicted and sentenced. And then you see the 7 who are awaiting, who have been convicted and awaiting sentencing, and then the 6 who are awaiting, and then 7 who are pending trial. And you see the numbers. So under the federal statutory scheme, when we indict these cases, they're subject to a mandatory minimum 2-year prison sentence. And the range that we receive for these, the folks who have been sentenced, is 18 months to 65 months in prison. Again, it's pretty jarring to these people who, for many years, have been committing these crimes and nothing has happened, not because of the lack of work, but just simply because of the way the system is set up. And so with our office stepping in jointly with the Billings Police Department to start holding these people accountable is particularly meaningful. And indeed, we've gotten sentences from 18 months to 65 months. And it's not just people who are in the federal system, but it's people who are then, after they are released from custody, who are subject to federal supervision, which is especially important too. So of the ones who have been sentenced, it's a total of 54.5 years, as you can see in the graphic, and then there's the restitution amount as well. Total loss is over $250 million, and restitution ordered is $217,000. Again, money that we hope to get back into the pockets and have in many ways to the victims of these crimes. You would think that these aren't violent crimes, the traditional violent crimes, but in my view, they're violent to the folks who are victimized by people. When someone is breaking in, taking intensely personal information, and then using that to fund their drug addiction, it is intensely personal to these folks. And what I want people to know in Billings is that you have the resources of the federal government and the Billings Police Department to hold these people accountable who are victimizing far too many people in and around Billings.